Remember all those good things I said about a diesel heater? I killed mine. Let's fix it. Standard. I'm going straight to the metric gallon. The Chinese knockoff of a German product should be in metric, right?
Sure.
The problem is the fan. It's not the fan on this side. It's the fan on this side. I don't know if I'm going to get that off though. I was hoping I could pull that off looking at the one we have out of the box. I think I'm just going to take this whole thing out, bring it inside, and swap the fans over. Oh, if you want to know how I killed this, I turned the power off to it while it was running. What that does is instantly stops the fan, but the jet blast inside of there will run for another, I don't know, it might only be 3, 4, 5 seconds. It's enough to create a lot of heat. With no fan to remove that heat, it melts stuff.
Yes, Matt, he did listen to you, and he didn't do this just once.
No, I've done it twice. The first time I did it was last spring. I don't even remember why I did.
Right after you
Right after I installed it. Like when I was installing it, I temporarily hooked up a wire to see how it would work, and it fell off or something. Yeah, and then the second time what I did was I had it hooked up after the main bus's power switch and didn't think about it. It was running, and I turned off the batteries to the bus, and instantly I heard this thing shut down and
went running, and
it was too late. It's done for. It was seized up. I got the motor to spin now, but it's set some kind of a motor error code. This motor doesn't spin fast enough. It sets a code 10 motor speed, I don't know, whatever. Do not turn the power off to these while they're running, because they just overheat. I bet even a German built one would do that though.
I bet it would if you just cut the power to it.
If you just cut the power to it, I think.
Without anything. Even fail-safes don't work if they don't have power to run.
Yeah. Well, let's get this thing out of here. Ooh, I just ripped that. I guess the duct becomes a ½ an inch shorter. One thing I did know is they tell you to mount this thing level. I originally had it mounted straight up and down, and it was noisy. When I turned it to level, the noise dropped by like 90%. You can't hear click at all inside anymore. And used to, if you listen to it, be able to hear it go click, click, click. So when you install a diesel heater, I didn't do it in my video, I did it afterwards. Mount it parallel, or I mean horizontal, not parallel.
Vertical. Horizontal, not... Oh,
You're
yeah,
right,
I suppose it would be parallel to the stuff, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I wasn't thinking though. Horizontal, not vertical. Those are the words I wanted.
God, the cows are noisy today. Of course, as soon as I swing the microphone that way, they stop. Assholes. There. I will eat you one day.
I'll eat your children. He raises them just to sell them.
Oh, he does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Sell the babies.
I'll eat your children is probably worse. It's more true.
Whoa! Good Lord, man.
An avalanche. That's the one. I think once I get the exhaust out off, let's see how hard that is to do. I'll be able to then bring this thing inside where it's warm at least to work on it.
Yeah, totally.
Hopefully I don't regret this. That doesn't want to come off.
What doesn't want to come off?
The exhaust. Exhaust never wants to come off. That actually didn't work too bad.
No, that didn't work too bad at all.
I didn't know if I'd be able to snake that L out of there or not.
This is better, isn't it? It's nice and warm in here.
Yeah, definitely. Phillips screwdriver.
Okay, no, with the Christmas tree and the presents there, you're supposed to start out by saying, ho, 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 Merry Christmas!
Ho, ho, ho.
Because you have some grays in your beard this year.
There we go. Get all that out of the way. Now, those two Allen screws are going to be tough. But my other option is to remove this, which means remove the exhaust and take the whole thing off, and that's going to be tough too. So I'm hoping for the best. Hope I can squeeze this out of here. The remix. Fondest ball end Allen wrench, made in Monticello, Minnesota. Saves the day. Now I expect to find the fan damaged. I'm hoping the flame chamber is alright. And if so,
You're hooked on the front of the thing here, I think. On the plastic case.
A few moments later.
You'll have to come out, it can't go up.
it's got to go up in this part because it has a little nipple that goes down. I don't get why it's not just. I don't know what's stopping it from going up.
More moments later.
Let me see if I pop this end off. If I get more movement out of the red plastic. Looking at this fan here, you wouldn't think it'd be that hard to replace, would you?
No, you wouldn't think so.
Just seems like it'd just go boom, boom, and we'd be done.
Eventually.
Amazing how fast exhaust rusts.
Yeah, no doubt.
I put it together tight, but not that tight. Can I see that pliers by your feet? I'll be going outside and getting the proper tool. One of the changes I'm doing is shortening this fuel line. Because I feel the more line after the pump, the more pressurized fuel you have. When I cut the power, the more flame you're still going to send out. So I'm going to turn that around 180.
Oh,
I don't know, take like 75% of the pressurized fuel line out. Oh, the fuel line came off. That's what was hanging me up. I got to take those nuts off. But I'm only going to get the room I have between. I'm not going to get a lot of room without taking the exhaust off. The way I threaded that exhaust on it, I'd rather just leave it. I don't want to take it on and off a bunch of times. Oh, this one came off, so we're going 50-50.
One eternity later.
I was really expecting to find more damage here.
Maybe it's behind that.
Pretty heat resistant plastic there. Now here's the fuel line. And then here's the injector. Now I bet that's the glow plug wires. Yeah, that's the glow plug. So the fuel sprays directly on the glow plug, and then with the fan swirls through here, and basically have a jet swirl a blast of diesel fuel inside of this chamber. Then that air, after it heats this up, goes out the exhaust. And that's like a $25 part. If I want to wait, I gotta wait 6 weeks for it though.
12 seconds later.
Voila, a pile of repair parts. I'm so close now, I almost feel like I should just replace the whole diesel heater. But my whole plan was to use this for repair parts, and then when and then I'll buy a fan, which takes like 6 weeks to get, and keep this one whole and just keep one full pile of parts. And it's still only 20% of the price of a German heater to get two of them. I should set up my table, but that make too much sense.
Yeah, why would you want to do that? It's doing a good job back behind the chair
See that? Let me make sure that's... Fuck!
there. What?
It's got a chip in it. It's not in here. I would have never known. I mean, if I would have put the whole thing in, it's not like the chip is... I didn't do it, obviously.
So they broke it in assembly.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably usable still. But...
I would imagine so, or they probably wouldn't have... Well, they might have put it together.
Let's see if the chip falls out of...
I don't hear anything shaking.
No. Let's see what the overheated one does. Something not quite as good about it.
Something not quite as good about it.
Yeah, that piece was not my fault.
Yeah, because you hadn't opened this up yet.
No.
Crazy. I mean,
It's not.
a cheap Chinese heater. Quality control isn't necessarily a...
Doesn't have the damn tab. The tab that gave us all the problems.
No,
It's not.
it does.
It's not
just
as long.
smaller.
Wow, that would have been so much easier. All of this, it all would have
New
been bolted
generation, they fixed a little problem, or just
I bought
made
'em.
differently?
down. I bought them days apart.
Oh, okay, then just different. Like I said, quality
Yeah.
control.
Something's not quite line enough right. We're just going to put that one back together and use that one.
I don't think we've used the diesel heater since we bought the curtains, have we?
No. No, we bought the curtains about the same time it broke. It was like that day. Yeah.
Makes a big difference with the
Yeah, it
windshield
does.
all being single pane, and that's a big slab of glass to just have. It'll be nice when we're traveling parked at a truck stop too.
Yeah.
Because that I always felt very exposed. I didn't turn any lights on when I woke up in the mornings. Just made my coffee in the dark.
Oh, shit.
What?
Put all that together and it all has to come back off because this has to go on in between. underneath
Oh,
this.
just the plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess just the plate,
It's
but-
4 bolts and a clamp and stuff. But
There.
oh, you had to swap those out because you had to cut them so they could fit where they need to fit, didn't you?
These two?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's that flange that
Yeah.
hits it otherwise. What? Oh, drip hit my coffee?
Yeah, right into the middle of the cup.
That's why we gotta get this instead of our propane heat.
Oh. Until we have the ceiling done, yeah, propane is drippy. A little bit of ceiling water in your coffee. Add some flavor. Got it?
Yeah. You seem left. You didn't know that everything is kind of bent to fit each other. But there was kind of a gap there when it was first made.
It's just fine.
Now I have them. They're going back in place. Which is the... This is the output. This is the input, so I want it to point backwards at the end.
I love that you just pulled that out of your pocket.
If I leave this without bleeding, it's going to be a fucking miracle. I'm serious. Look at what I'm reaching through.
Well, it'll be
Looks
nostalgic for you.
You won't watch Saw, but there's a thing in Saw that looks just like this.
Yeah, no thanks. It'll be nostalgic for you. It's been a long time since you've come home from work every day with scraped and bloody appendages.
I know. Let's watch Saw together, and you'll know
No.
what I'm talking about.
Nope. No thanks. Saw is the equivalent of a week-long, 24-hour-a-day Hallmark movie marathon for you with your eyes forced open the entire time.
I've already watched a handful of sappy movies this year.
And you get sucked in. I don't make you watch them. I do it while you're doing something else, and you come in for a break and you sit down and you get sucked in.
How do you know you won't get sucked into Saw?
Because it's horrifying, and I already watched part of it and it freaked me out, and I didn't want to watch anything more to do with it. 5 minutes was enough for me.
At the end of the first movie, if that doesn't hook you to say, what the fuck did I just watch?
5 minutes was enough for me. I don't need to drag that shit around with me in my life. No, thank you.
Too tight to turn that one anymore. That one too. I guess there's nothing to show.
Perfect.
That's good. There, that's good and tight now. Keep the fuel line around like that. I'll deal with the zip tie for that later. I still have no idea where my zip ties are. The hard part is this is like a 3-inch pipe. The diesel heater. And this is 4-inch because they don't make 3-inch. It's made for heat. Maybe they make 3-inch dryer hose, but it's not insulated. It lets a lot of heat out. I understand the slotted screw in like 1950, but why anything would not have a Phillips screw on it today, I do not understand. I want to tighten the exhaust up against the body over here, the muffler. I want to leave it gapped where it is, where it's natural. I'll tighten this nut down, this bolt down here, until it's just tight, till it just pulls this up a little. And then I can spin this nut and tighten the nut. I'll have to grab a wrench for it. And that will then hold it where it's at. Moment of truth. Connor is going to turn on the diesel heater right now. Let's see if she fires up and works. It should work. It's a brand new diesel heater, but yeah, still got to inspect everything. Make sure there's no leaks or that kind of stuff. There's the fuel pump. We should hear it fire up in a second here. She's a-going. We have diesel heat again. Won't have foggy windows tonight. Won't get rained on from the beams of metal above us either. Look at it snow. Perfect night to get the heat back.